Welcome to The Difference. Today, we want to ask you, what is your reason for being? We talk about being different, but what makes us different is what drives us, what is the very core of us. And so today I want to talk to you, and Anthony's going to talk to you too, about what's at our core and why that makes us different. So stay tuned. Core.
You are listening to The Difference, a podcast supported by The Hour, a 54-year ministry. Steve doing lots of good stuff, television, radio, streaming online at thehour.org, and now, guess what? We're back on audio. We're doing podcasts. And Steve, we're getting some good response from some people. We've kind of soft launched this thing, but we're getting people who are listening and saying, hey, y'all are not too churchy, so that's good.
That's exactly right. I mean, we're hoping that as you listen, you'll share this with your friends. It's not rocket science. We're just having conversations that matter to us, and we hope that they'll matter to you and make a difference in your life. That's really why we do this. And so we're excited. It's been fun. I told Anthony earlier, I've enjoyed this more than when we were filming, and it's just felt more organic. And we've had several people say, hey, you two have good chemistry. And
well, we have been friends for quite some time now.
Yeah, I'm coordinated.
We're coordinated. That's a story for maybe season 2.
Maybe 3 or 4.
But yes, we've just become friends. We were talking earlier that you baptized my daughter Sydney. So you've been our pastor, you've been our friend, and just dear to our family. And Cindy, and we've watched Matt grow up, and he's still growing up, and our kids are still growing up, and it's fun coming alongside people that you share a life, just a mission in life. You share the same kind of values, and that's when the Bible talks about don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together. I think, growing up, that was used to say, oh, well, you've got to be in church every time the doors are open. I think it's about being like-minded and yoking yourself with the types of friends who are coming alongside you and making your journey easier.
And I think, you've seen, I have a yoke at my house that my dad gave me. That's a single yoke. It was used to haul maple syrup buckets by people. And when he gave it to me, he said, I'm giving this to you because it's what not to do. You can't go through life by yourself. A yoke ideally is made for 2 or more people. So find the right people. And so I feel like
I'm still thinking about syrup.
Exactly. Maple syrup. And so part of what we want to do is kind of share our yokedness, a double yolked egg. There you go. But to talk about what it means to go through life with other people. And when we talk about core values, when we talk about being different, community is such an integral part of that. As a pastor, I love being a part of congregation. I love getting to know the people. I love building friendships. I like to preach, but it was the community that I lived for. And I think post-COVID, we have lost so much of that. And one of our dreams in this podcast is that you'll begin to find people to create not virtual friendships with, but real friendships with, to spend time, to become a part of each other's lives. I mean, I feel like you're part of my family. And as we come into this holiday season, one of the things that I wanted us to talk about was that's the very essence of what God sent Jesus for, was this whole sense that God sent his only son into the world, not to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And I know saved is a loaded word, so don't let that kind of make you turn this podcast off. What that salvation means, what Jesus proclaimed it was, I've come that you might have life and have it abundantly. And so having those kind of relationships make abundant life.
Well, Jesus on the cross and saying, this is your son, this is your mother, and connecting people in this torturous time, the most painful death imaginable, going through this, and he's thinking about others and making connections. And it's not just about families that we are born into, but it's about families that we choose to be born into, families that we choose to be yoked with, and those sometimes are the most precious ones, because you can't choose your family, but you can choose who else you bring into your life.
Building those friendships. And that's, takes us right into the crux of what I want to talk about. And that is, John's version of the birth of Jesus in this holiday season says, for God so loved the world that he sent his only son. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. It was God's choice not to appear in some glorious appearance to scare the bejeebers out of us, but he came as a baby and grew up as a person and built his life in relationships. He had a mother and an earthly father and brothers and sisters, and he had friends, and he grew up facing the tragedies of life. And it was in that living of life that I find my real mission, and that is that everything Jesus did, he did in love. He lived in love. And for me, that love is relationship in the purest form of what we were made to be.
Well, your whole persona, if you will.
Go ahead and say shtick. That was what you started.
I did almost say that, but it's not the right word. But your whole mantra going forward has always been living loved. Live loved, and that's a choice you have to make, because you can choose to be a victim, and we see so much victim mindset and so many people who just choose not to be happy or be okay. And yes, we all deal with stuff. We have things that are not choices, and yes, we have to deal with, but it is a choice of how we choose to say, regardless of all that, this is the life I want. This is the person I choose to be, and come what may, this is I want to be a kind person, or I want to be a helpful person, or I choose to be this way. And your living loved is always just spoken to me. I know you had that as a tag on your car, and we had T-shirts printed and all, but as a reminder of, we are children of God. We are chosen into this bigger family, and we can live loved. I went out to California and filmed some things with my friend Frank Ordaz, this wonderful artist who worked as a matte painter for Lucasfilm, and he painted paintings in E.T. and Temple of Doom and Return of the Jedi, so all these movies that were so instrumental in my life. And here I am meeting and becoming friends with this guy, and he and his wife took my wife and me and another couple. We went to Mexico together on a Easter week one week, and I think I've mentioned this before, but we joined this Easter processional. So we're in the middle of Mexico, can't speak the language, but everybody it was a Catholic procession, so we're not Catholic, but we're in this parade, and then they would stop and set the sculptures down, and then they would start reciting something, and the band playing and the people singing, and it was under the starlight, and it was just beautiful. And the other couple said, you act like y'all have known each other for years and all, and you act like you've just always known each other, and you just met. And I said, that's because we're brothers.
Yeah.
We were brothers before we even met. We share a same life view. We share, we are family. So just because we just met, there is so much of how we're alike. And I think there's so many times we fail to see this humanity, this commonality between us. And sometimes when I read great writers, we just finished this film on Eudora Welty, and her humanity just is a part of everything she wrote, everything that she was a part of. And there was a certain sense of justice, a certain sense of again, appreciating humanity. I think we just have to look for those connections. Now, as a believer, it goes deeper, and there's more to it than that, because it is a family aspect, but just the family of man, and coming together and realizing, if I don't love my fellow man, I'm going to have a much harder go of this.
Right.
And life is not going to be nearly as fun. And then when you add the Christian component to that, and you add what we believe and wanting to share that goodness with others, it's a whole other mandate. But if we have to choose that, we have to choose to live. And some people can say, I can't go and give my witness. I can't testify and that kind of thing. Okay, be a witness with your life, how you treat people, how you live people, love people, and then that is a much better testimony anyway. That is a much better way just to be a Christian.
I mean, that's living loved.
Yes.
I mean, I think that when you say a choice, one of the things that what you just said took me to was a lot of times people look at Christianity, they look at faith across the board, regardless of what the origins are. And they see it as this collection of beliefs that you align yourself with that drive how you live. What I've come to believe is that what drives how we live is that we're loved by God. And the whole live loved is as much a sense of where our foundation is as it is how we should live our life. And so when you talk about the people that we know and have built friendships with, that especially in the Christian community, understand that loveness, that we are all loved, and because we're children of God, because we are loved by God, then we have this wonderful commonness that can bring us together in spite. It's not a matter of homogenization of belief. It's more of the sharing of our difference that brings diversity and wonder to our life. When Frank came and spoke at Heritage, and I'll never forget,
right.
our people, he came and spoke to our church that I was at, and he was talking about his faith and the industry. And one of the things Frank kept talking about was not the accomplishments, it was the people. It was the characters. It was the relationships that made his life so full. And that's one of the things that we crave for people to discover. We spend too much time in just nonsense kind of stuff rather than investing ourselves in each other's lives, of understanding each of us are loved by God, and because of that we can live together in a different way. And especially in this politically contentious time where we're told that we have to line up and choose sides, and it's like this giant dodgeball game when we take everybody out and we're just banging on each other. And Jesus chose to come, and throughout his whole ministry didn't spend his time saying who's left out. He spent his time saying, hey, you're a loved child of God.
Right.
Come out of that tree, Zacchaeus. Hey, you're a loved child of God. Peter, I'm serving you breakfast because even though you ran away, I love you.
Right.
Do you love me? What an incredible question. That's the important question of life. Do you know you are loved by God?
Right. And I think some people would be good just to have a degree of respect for their fellow man.
Exactly.
Even if you can't get to love, and even if that's a bridge too far right now.
I can get to tolerate.
Right, But even so, I mean, we have a hard time with even just a basic respecting of each other and sharing and being able to. And I mean, it's across the spectrum. I have friends from every political background, religious background, and it's something that we all struggle with on every side of feeling like we've got to be against each other, and that doesn't solve anything for anybody. I think we're in this together, and that's what I love about this season, because it does with Christmas. And you have the songs and the shared and the movies that we like to watch. I think it makes us think of a time of more harmony and peace. And I think this is a great time to make some of those even pre-New Year's resolutions and all of, hey, I want to love and respect people better, not just because Christ said we should, not just because all right, it's what we're supposed to do, but it's also good for us.
Exactly.
Why would anyone want to spend a life of just being angry or upset. And we're in a time right now, so we're doing these book tours. We just released our Eudora film. We've had screenings. I don't even know what day it is, and we have so much going on. And we're not at the finish line. We have so many events coming up. I was just telling you we have about 11 things between now and Christmas. And looking at all of that, it's so easy for us to get into a mode where we're snapping at each other or something because we're just exhausted. And then we're nice to people who are signing books and that sort of thing. But it is a choice to say, we can't snap at each other. We have to choose right now. We're going to get through this, and this is tough, and this is a good cause, and we're liking what we're doing, but we have to choose daily the kind of people we're going to be, and I think God makes that easier for us. Prayer certainly plays into that, a mindset, and seeking his help or seeking the help of others. But it all starts with us choosing to say, I want to be better, and it's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for others.
And I think, when Paul was learning to be a disciple and he's writing his letters, one of the most beautiful phrases that he began to do when he was talking to the people, he said again and again, think on these things. John Ortberg, in his book, The Me I Want to Be, has a chapter on mindset. It's one of my favorite chapters in a book that I've read. And he talks about that whole idea of we all have emotions. We all have passions. But part of the wonderful creative genius of God is that he also gave us the capacity to set our minds on things, to focus our attention on things, to center ourselves in things. And we can center it in anger or we can center it in love. It's not that we don't have angry feelings. It's that we choose not to set up house there.
Right.
It's that we choose not to live in that we have a mindset that says, I'm aware enough of what's going on in me that I choose not to stay here. How do I get out of this back to where I want to be? And it's not this kind of nirvana sense that, you live loved and so everything's flowery. And you and I both know we've had trials, we've had tribulations,
right.
We've all lost people we love. Coming up on this Christmas, it'll be my first Christmas without my mom. And coming into that season, really kind of, the first full year. And missing her, and at the same time trying to be present with my dad and everything that's going on with him and a new marriage. It's a lot. And I could choose to be angry, but what I choose is love.
Yeah.
I love my dad. I love Dixie. I love my mom. I don't have to set up petitions that say either or. I can live in the midst of that and at the same time feel my grief and my sorrow. And for my soul, that's just so much healthier.
It is. And, you mentioned losing your mom. A few years ago, I lost my brother.
Yeah.
And here's my younger brother who I never in a million years would have thought I would lose him before I died. And to lose him, it was this challenging thing. And it was right before our Walter Anderson film came out. And I remember him getting some of that drone footage. I sent him some drone footage we did out on Horn Island. He was so excited and immediately posted it on Facebook. And I had to, Bobby, you've got to take that off Facebook until the film comes out. And okay, I'm sorry, but he was just
so proud of you.
He was. And then when we lost him, 3 months after he had married his sweetheart and his life had come together. But even then, there's a choice in saying, there was a time when Bobby was dealing with some addictions. There was a time when he was dealing with finding his way in life, and at the end, he had found Wendy, and they had gotten together and were so happy. They got married, and it was so wonderful, and the beautiful wedding and all of his friends. And then 3 months later, he died. How tragic it would have been had he died even before that. And
the other side of love.
It really, because he had gone through so much and was just so unhappy. And had he died like that, and but he died happy. He died just his life as full as it had ever been. And I choose to be grateful for that, even though it was a brief time and it's tragic and all of that. But he did not die in the midst of the low point in his life, and he was brought to this mountaintop experience and went out that way. And yes, it's tough for us. It's tough for Wendy, but they had this beautiful time together. So even in the catastrophe, even in the loss, even in losing someone so close like that, there are things to choose to be happy about and to be grateful for,
and to be together with. I think about some of the most meaningful Christmas and holiday season services I've been a part of, and as ironic as it sounds, one of them was in Hattiesburg. They had a Blue Christmas service, and they would gather the whole community, and a lot of it was folks who were in the recovery community, and they would gather around a lighted tree, and everybody had a candle. And the particular service that I was a part of, I got to speak. And I can remember looking around that circle and looking at the faces of the people there and watching people as they came in and the transformation that happened as they became a part of that circle and began to see, I'm not in this alone. I'm not the only one who has lost somebody. And by the end of the service, when we closed out, everybody lingered and stayed, and there was just this mysterious, incredible healing process that took place. It wasn't the words I said. It wasn't the place we were at. It was that community of coming together and sharing the pain and being in the process together that really brought out the healing and a sense of we call Jesus the Prince of Peace. And part of the center of the holiday season is it's not that it went away, but love helps us make peace with life. It helps us find our place in the pain. It helps us put things in their right place. And it is more than a mindset in the sense that we all think our will is stronger than it is. We all think our internal strength is stronger than it is. But when we come together in love, we don't have to rely just on our strength. Because the other thing that I felt, and those of you who are not spiritual don't get all weeby-jeeby about this, but they're in that circle.
Spell that, weeby-jeeby?
Weeby-jeeby, that's a technical term that you can Google and see what it says. That the Holy Spirit, the living love of God was in that room. And it was palpable.
Yeah.
And you said it before, wherever two or more are gathered, God has this great joy when we come together in love. And God inhabits it because it's its very essence and nature. And that's why this is so important to me to say live loved is so complex and yet simple. And that is God so loved the world. And He's decided to love us still. Not condemn us, not put us down. In any religion that you bump up across, and any people who come to you and say that faith is about being judged and so forth, that's a lie.
Right.
What God came to do was come to us just like He did with Peter and say, hey, I love you. You love me? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's deeper than words.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about that Holy Spirit in inhabiting a room, and when you feel those moments, again, when grief is, the doctor shakes his head, walks away, you have no words, but you see those around you. You know, I talked about my dad's funeral and looking up and seeing a friend of mine in line, and I knew he didn't know my dad, didn't know, seeing different people at the funeral and knowing they're there just for me, and what that made me feel. And Robert St. John, our good friend, he just lost his mother, and I went down. I mean, I had to be there, and we had an event that day, and Amy went and did the event so that I could go, and Robert was like, dude, what are you doing here? And but it means something.
Right.
Just a presence, just showing up. And again, it's not about words, because I don't have words. My mom is still with me. I've lost my dad, but there are no words sometimes, and you have regrets and you have celebrations and all, but sometimes just presence is enough. And I think sometimes we discount the importance of that gift that we can give others.
That's it. And I think that's a great way for us to close. As we move in the holiday season, Live Loved is presence. For God, so the Word became flesh.
Not ENTS,
Right.
but presence.
The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And that whole idea, James Dobson tells a story, and I'll keep it short, of a young girl who was terrified of storms, and every time it stormed, she'd run and jump in bed with her mom and dad, and they were trying to help her grow up, and they said, "Don't you come in here again. You're big enough. God will be with you. He loves you." And so they waited a minute, and there was a big clap of thunder, and she came running into the room and jumped in the bed, and the father said, "What did I tell you? You know God loves you." And she looked at him and said, "Yeah, but I needed love with skin on." And that's what we all need.
Yep.
Is that presence of being there for each other. So living loved is allowing the presence of God to live through you into your relationship with others. So in this holiday season, think about that.
Holiday thieving?
Yeah, think about that. My dentures coming loose there. What can I say? That during this holiday season, think about your presence. Are you so busy getting presents ready that you can't be present? Are you so busy worried about your financial situation that you've put yourself under stress? Are you too busy to be with the people you love? Then you're not living loved. You're living as a prisoner to another set of expectations. So I invite you to just take a moment and reflect. How can I live loved in this season? How can I accept God's love for me? And then somehow be present with that love in me for the people around me that I love. And to be honest, don't love. We'll have another session about that. Because Jesus didn't just say love your friends. He said love your enemies, which took what we talked about at first. There is nobody outside the circle.
Right. Wow. And now we're going to take up an offering, because that was really good, Steve. That was really good. Look, we appreciate you joining us, and we do. Steve's right. I mean, we hope you'll share. It's not about us talking. I mean, it's about the fellowship. It's about community. It's about just exploring this journey together, and I'm just so thankful to be on this journey with you.
Same here, man. Listen, everybody, we hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And as always, hey, remember, live loved.
You've been listening to The Difference, a presentation of The Hour. The Difference is made in conjunction with and partnership with the Institute for Southern Storytelling at Mississippi College. To find out more about the Institute and ways that we are partnering and mentoring young lives through storytelling, filmmaking, and more, visit us at southernstorytelling.mc.edu. And for more resources from The Hour and from The Difference, check us out at our Hour Stream platform with the streaming content at thehour.org. I'm Anthony Thaxton. Thanks for joining us.